Oh, did you get a look at this one here, dude?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Yo, what's up, bud?
Yo, Sonder, what's good, buddy?
Hello? I have a penis.
Hello.
Hello?
Yo, y'all heard of this new Fall Guys game? This shit's...
Today I'm going to show you how you can make sure that your mic audio is decent enough to have online friends. And if you don't really care to look at my face at all, and you just want to jump right to the tutorial, feel free to skip right to this timestamp. Here in 2020, you have some sort of a responsibility to manage your mic quality. It's kind of a common courtesy. So if your friend happened to send you this video, it was his polite way of saying, hey bud, your audio kind of sucks. Fix it. You might be sitting there, remembering the good old days, the late nights, Logitech G930s, TeamSpeak, a bunch of your best friends. I know, me too. I don't really miss them though. Do you want to know why? Because everybody sounded like this.
Get the fuck away from me! You're gonna shoot.
Nowadays, if you want to hang out with your friends, you have some audio standards that need to be met. Because if you don't, you can bet that somebody's going to be calling you out about it pretty soon. However, it's not always feasible to just go out there and spend $500 on audio equipment. So it's kind of up to you to up your game. So what can you do to make sure that you are getting the most out of your audio equipment that you already have instead of going out and spending money? We're going to start with some physical hardware, and then we're going to move to some audio hardware, including some knobs and some slidey thingies. And then we're going to transition into how Windows 10 interprets your incoming audio, and then kind of stumble into applications, like Audacity or OBS. If you're like me, but 5 years ago, good looking, hair follicles, and completely clueless about audio, then I know that this task can be kind of daunting. Disclaimer. I am not an audio professional. All these things that I've learned on my journey through live streaming, and I have a very high chance of being wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you. There are a lot of great guides out there, but none of them that covered everything that I wanted to cover, hence this video. And even some of the best guides out there pretty much completely skip over 70% of the list that I have. Lots of guides on how to get radio voice with these OBS filters. And I hate to break it to you, a VST filter on top of a turd is still a turd. So let's turn that turd into a turnip. Once you've completed all of these steps, you're gonna have a better understanding of your audio setup. Now, before I get into these steps, there's a couple of terms that I kind of want to explain to set the stage. The first one is noise floor. Now, noise floor is the signal that the device receives but does not understand. The noise floor tells us how strong the noise is, and this is usually measured in decibels. Noise comes in two forms: component and then self-made, human-made. The difference between the noise floor and your usable signal is the signal to noise ratio. The noise floor here in this room would be the heater or the air conditioner or the hum of computer fans. What your audio sounds like when you're not actually speaking, like where it kind of levels out at. Clipping or peaking. These two words pretty much mean the same thing, and clipping and peaking both refer to when your audio signal is clipping the amplifier. So in this instance, we're referring to your microphone amplifier, or preamp for short. When you clip, your mic signal will actually become distorted. This happens when your gain is too high and or when you are too loud. This is what clipping sounds like. How does this mic sound? Does that sound good? So now that we got those terms out of the way, let's go over all the things. Room treatment. Have you ever had anyone ask how well your room is treated? And you say, dude, I'm like super nice to my room. Room treatment can come in many forms. At the professional level, this involves transforming a room with strategic desk placement, away from walls and bouncing surfaces, a particular orientation of subs and speakers, acoustic foam, blankets on the walls and ceilings. At the streamer level though, this is more so of being cognizant of your PC case placement, whether it's on your desk or it's on your floor. The fans that are inside that can be pretty loud. if you have any room fans or air conditioners, the rumbles of heaters or vibrators, you get what I'm saying. The goal is to have your room treated well, where you are minimalizing where you are minimalizing the general ambient noise around you, keeping your noise floor as low as possible. So address the room. Do you have fans that are being picked up? Do you have a hum or a rumble of some type of machinery or electronic? Try and figure out what ambient noise you can minimize while recording and streaming. Now, sometimes, like right now, you can tell that I'm getting a little sweaty. I shut off my computers, my air conditioner, anything that creates noise. And it sucks because it gets hot in here, but you do what you have to do. USB audio interface and its preamps. In most cases nowadays, intermediate streamers have an XLR microphone and a USB audio interface or a mixer. Now on the other side of the spectrum, we have so many creators that have USB microphones, which require no USB audio interface at all. With the release of the new Elgato Wave microphones, USB microphones are making a bit of a comeback, and the discussion between the two doesn't really have a place in this video, and doesn't necessarily even pertain to this particular bullet point. A USB audio interface or a USB mixer has one of the most important pieces of hardware in your entire setup. The quality of your interface and its preamps, or the mic preamplifier, sets the stage for your signal quality. It is very, very apparent when somebody takes a $400, $500, $600 microphone and plugs it into a $30 Behringer mixer. An amplifier is a device that allows you to change the amount of electronic signal that is present. In an XLR mic setup, you have the preamp gain knob that is on the front of the USB audio interface. On something like a USB mic, you have a gain knob on the mic itself. What does this all mean? The quality of the preamp determines the quality of your mic signal. Budget USB interfaces and mixers like the Behringer 302 really struggle with powering dynamic microphones like the RE320, the RE20, the Shure SM7B. This is a huge reason why you hear so many people recommending devices like the Go XLR and the Go XLR Mini. And this is because they are equipped with the cream of the crop Midas preamps that are capable of powering those expensive microphones that I just mentioned without the need for gain boosters like the Cloud Lifter or the Fethead. Some awesome options for USB audio interfaces that aren't the Go XLR are the Evo 4, that's by Audient, the Motu M2, and of course the Go XLR and the Go XLR Mini. When content creators take microphones like the RE20 and the Shure SM7B and they plug it into a budget interface, they have to crank the hell out of that gain knob to 70, 80, sometimes even 90% just to get a loud enough usable signal that people can hear. But when those cheap budget preamps are pushed all the way to the max, they start to sound kind of poopy. And this is why a good USB interface with great preamps is very important. So in conclusion, dynamic microphones that require a lot of gain paired with a budget USB audio interface and budget preamps equals poo-poo-pee-poo. Mic distance. Mic as close to your mouth as possible. My friends, if you are serious about the quality of your microphone, you have to get yourself a boom arm. Get that mic as close to your mouth as possible for the best chance at a quality signal. Not only does getting the mic close to your mouth increase quality, having it on a boom arm and not using a desk stand really helps you get away from the desk rumble when you're pounding your desk because you can't win a singles game in Fortnite. Now, the actual distance could be argued, but usually anywhere from 1 to 6 inches is a really good spot. This depends on your speaking pattern, the presence of a pop filter, the mic orientation, mic type, and that's really all I can say about it. Just put the mic as close to your mouth. For me, with my RE320, I use a Vivo arm where the arm comes up underneath my monitors. And normally when I'm streaming and I got my beer belly up against my desk, the mic is about a couple inches from my mouth, usually a fist's worth. Now, I have a pop filter that is built into the capsule of the microphone, so I don't have one, which allows it to be a little bit closer. I could probably still use one, but I haven't been. Boom arm, very important. Mic positioning. This is a big one too. Don't be like my friend Middle Age Stream and have your AT2020 facing the wrong way for 6 months, or else your friends might not let you live it down. Again, the positioning of the mic matters, and thankfully, this depends on the mic that you have. A mic like the RE320 is an end address microphone, and you are meant to speak directly into it or at like a 90-degree angle. Same thing goes for the Shure SM7B. See a lot of people with it straight on or at a 90-degree angle, and it sounds great with both. The very popular microphone, the Blue Yeti, that is a side address microphone. So yes, you're actually supposed to be talking into the side of the mic, not into the top. So whatever mic you have, you should be looking at the mic's documentation to figure out how it should be positioned. Couple extra tips here, and this might not be feasible for everyone, but these are good things to consider. What direction you're looking when you're speaking, when you're in your normal speaking position. What direction are you facing when you're talking to chat? What direction are you facing when you're looking into the camera? You don't want to have the microphone in a place where you're going to be speaking away from it. So obviously I have the shotgun microphone pointed right at me because I'm looking right at the camera. But if my camera happened to be over here, but the mic was over here, you might hear not so great mic signal because I'm not speaking into the microphone anymore. Or it might be doing okay because it's a shotgun microphone and it's meant to have a little leeway. So a little something called mic etiquette comes into play here. So paying attention to speaking into the capsule no matter what way your head is looking, and that's just gonna take time and practice, and it's gonna come over time. Have you noticed that we have not even gotten into mic settings yet? It's all just been physical orientation. That just goes to show you how important it is to have everything set up correctly in a physical sense before you even get to mic settings. So one of my biggest issues when I had the other mic stand was it kind of hung out more over here to the left. With this new microphone arm, I'm able to more so center the microphone so it's not coming in at such a harsh angle. I keep my camera as close to the right side of my primary monitor as possible. I also keep chat in the bottom right-hand corner of my top monitor. So my camera, my gaming PC, and my chat are all in the same exact space. My microphone, even when I'm talking to chat, I can move around it and address chat. You know, I've trained myself with mic etiquette over time. So if your camera is over here, but chat is over here, and your mic is over here, you gotta kind of keep this in mind, because if you're talking over here trying to address chat, but your mic is coming in from the right side, you're always gonna be talking away from your microphone, unless your mic etiquette is good and you are turning all the way around. Too often I see streamers with chat or the camera opposite side of the microphone, so they're not talking into the mic when they're addressing chat or addressing the camera. Especially for people that are doing a lot of talking or just chatting streams. You know, they're primarily not speaking into the microphone because they're addressing chat or camera, which is in an opposite direction. So something to think about, you know, and that's kind of why I have my camera, my gaming PC monitor, and my chat all around the same area so that I'm always looking to where I'm addressing and speaking into the microphone. Mic choice. Today is not the day to have the dynamic versus condenser versus shotgun microphone conversation. What I will say is this: they all have their place, and both the condenser and the dynamic microphones are fantastic options for streamers. However, 90% of streamers do not have a properly sound-treated room to warrant the use of a condenser microphone. Dynamic microphones do a better job of rejecting and softening noises that are off axis, meaning rejecting any noises that are not happening directly in front of the microphone. Dynamic mics are not any less sensitive than condenser mics. They're just better fit for a non-sound treated space. The capsules on dynamic microphones are activated by sound. Condenser mic capsules are always on and always listening due to the way that they are built and, you know, with their accompanying phantom power. Microphone choice should be dependent on your type of voice and your room noise. There is no one mic that fits all, so do your research and find a mic that fits your voice. Again, that doesn't mean that you can't make what you have now work. Checking your fader levels before setting the gain. This only really applies if you have a mixer or a USB audio interface with an XLR microphone that actually has faders or the little slidey thingies. If you have a mixer, you want to make sure that your channel fader is set to 0 and your output mix fader is also set to 0. And you can mess with these later if you need to tweak anything. Proper gain settings. Gain can be the devil, and it is the deciding factor between not being heard, picking up every knuckle crack, every bathroom door, or blowing out everybody's eardrums. Having the preamp gain set correctly on your USB mic or your XLR USB interface is the most important thing you have to get right. Again, this is going to be different for absolutely everyone. No single person's gain settings are going to work for everyone. I can't really tell you where your level should be, but I can give you a bunch of information that will help you dial it in as best as you can. There are so many of the previous points that we've outlined already that make setting the gain really easy or really hard. Room treatment, room noise, your noise floor, how much constant background noise there is from fans, air conditioners, washing machines. The quieter your room noise, the easier it is to dial in your mic gain. Mic distance, mic positioning, these are also huge. Recently, on an episode of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast, Kick Tripod gave a fantastic analogy, and I'm just going to kind of let him explain it really quick.
So when you send gain to a microphone, think of it almost as like a little globe around your capsule. The more gain you give it, the bigger that globe gets of what it's picking up.
Mm-hmm.
So what I can do is I can have it all the way out here. And then what I do with my makeup gain on the compressor is I just amplify what it's picking up in the globe by that many decibels.
Sure.
So what I do is I just close that globe a little bit more and then raise that up a little bit.
So like he said, imagine that there is a sphere around the end of your microphone and where the capsule is. The higher the gain settings, the larger the sphere. And everything that's going to be within that globe is going to get picked up. So you can imagine if you have your mic way off to the side and your gain is absolutely cranked because that's the only way that people are going to hear you, you are going to have a massive globe. So that means that everything in your room is going to get picked up really well. And when you're going to try and noise gate out the background noise, it's going to be really difficult because the difference between what's making noise in your room and your speaking volume is going to be really, really tight. And it's going to be hard to get that noise gate right in the middle. You have to get that mic as close to your mouth as possible so that you can have your gain at a moderate level. With your microphone super close, your globe or your sphere is also super, super tiny. This allows you to leave a lot of room so that you can set your gain properly and your noise gate, and that way you can get loud without clipping. So most importantly, it gives you a lot of room to apply a proper noise gate. By the way, if you don't know what a noise gate is, it is the ability to stop your mic from sending signal to your PC when you're not speaking. Pretty much filtering out the background noise, the doors closing, the keys clacking, and other things when you're not speaking. If you want to learn more about this, check out the Streamer Encyclopedia for many, many links. There are so many great guides that can teach you how to dial this in properly. I want to take a quick moment to help you visualize what you're trying to accomplish here. So I'm going to bust out the iPad and give you a visualization of why having your gain set correctly makes everything so much easier.
All right, so let's take a look at this lovely little graph that I drew on my iPad. So here we have our graph. We're going to have our audio separated into 3 different colors: room noise, vocals, and noise gate. Now, let's assume that we have a dynamic microphone with, a boom arm. It's close to our mouth. Our gain is set properly. So let's say that our normal room noise level is at, negative 55 decibels, okay? And then when I'm speaking, let's say that I have my voice leveled properly and it's sitting at about averaging in between -10 and -12 decibels. So our vocals is going to be in the green up top, and our room noise is down here in red at the bottom. So because we have a mic with a compressor, we are able to scream and get loud. So we are also going to have a line here for when we are screaming, when we're getting very, very loud, and the decibel level to represent that. Now, on top of that, when you're streaming, you also might happen to whisper every once in a while. So we want to accommodate for softer sounds as well. So we'll have a line on the graph for whispering or soft speaking as well. So on our graph, you can see that our screaming, our normal speaking volume, and our whispering are all, they look far apart, but in my mind, if you have a compressor that is bringing down when you scream and bringing your audio up when you whisper, those three are always going to be kind of the same. They're going to be the same audio level, which is what you want. What you can see here is in between the whispering line and in between the room noise line, we have a lot of room to place our noise gate. Our noise gate is going to filter out everything that isn't vocals and allow anything that is vocals. So in a perfect world, you have a lot of room in between your lowest speaking voice and the room noise to place your noise gate. So that way you don't get cut off. Your noise gate isn't opening and closing and opening and giving you a hell of a time. So this is what you want. You want there to be a lot of room in between your softest speaking and then your background noise or your room noise. And of course, anything room noise is going to be like your mouse clicks, the switches on your keyboard, when your switches are bottoming out on your keyboard, fans in the room, air conditioners, maybe your desk rumble when you are, hitting your desk or even just putting your arms down on your desk. All of those all equate to room noise. So now let's say we are in the opposite direction. We're in the naughty zone. Our mic is super far away from our mouth. The gain is absolutely cranked, which means it's picking up all of the sounds in the room. Not a great situation. So in this new graph, you see that when we're super, super loud, when we're speaking normally, and when we're whispering, they're all at about the same audio level. But unfortunately, because our gain is absolutely cranked, our room noise is just below where it would be if we were speaking very softly, which makes it almost near impossible to properly place a noise gate because the amount of room that's in between your softest voice and your room noise, it's only a couple decibels worth of audio. So you're trying to get that noise gate perfectly in between you speaking and your background noise, and it's just so difficult because all of the audio is all at the same volume. So that's why it's really, really difficult to kind of set your noise gate if your mic happens to be across the room away from you on the other side of the desk. So it helps to get it inside your mouth.
Setting the level and the properties for the recording device. This is something that I've had an issue with over the years, and I've never really gotten a firm answer on how exactly the fader control works in Windows. So if you go into your control panel settings for your audio device, and yes, I'm using the classic control panel, you can set the input level for your recording device. This will either be your USB microphone or your USB audio interface where your XLR microphone plugs into. Right-click on your USB device, select Properties, and head over to the Levels tab. Anytime that I have this level fader set to 100%, my audio sounds like absolute trash. It's peaky, it's loud, it's grainy, it's dog nuts, neutered. What I have found for me is that anything in between 70 and 80% is a good level. I retain all of my gain staging and quality that I have set in my hardware chain, and it carries on through to the rest of my applications on my PC. If you find yourself always loud, always peaking, always sounding like trash, try setting this to 75% and then setting your gain on your microphone or setting your gain on your USB audio interface. You might have a better time. While you're already here in the audio settings, do yourself a favor. Click the Advanced tab and uncheck both boxes for allow applications to take exclusive control of this device and give exclusive mode applications priority. Does anybody remember this popular clip of Ninja playing Uno with his homies?
No, we're waiting on Tim. We're waiting on Tim.
What is that sound? Are you
Nice.
talking in game?
Are you on a megaphone?
A little bit louder, my ears might bleed.
Discord, what's happening? I don't know what to tell you.
This is why it's important to have those boxes unchecked.
By the way, just to further clarify, the reason you want to uncheck those boxes is so games like Uno, CSGO, Far Cry don't take that and automatically adjust your gain. You don't want Windows to automatically do anything. When you launch apps or launch games, sometimes the app will go, oh, I want to be able to automatically adjust the gain. You don't want that to happen. So don't do it.
Checking your signal in Audacity. You might be asking, how loud should my mic signal be? How do I know that I'm at a good level? How do I measure the signal? Don't you want to join a Discord channel and know that your friends, families, fellow furries won't have to adjust your volume because you didn't have it set right? There's a great way to do this. And if you're a content creator, you should really have this application anyways. It's called Audacity. It is a free audio recording application. You can use this application to get a visual of your audio signal, and if you're too loud, if you're too quiet, or if you're just right. There are 3 reasons that I recommend using Audacity instead of OBS. 1, you want your audio signal to be clear of any adjustments, any gain, I almost said gain additions, or VST filters. So just in case that you already have a lot of those in place, we're gonna use Audacity. Audacity is going to monitor the raw signal that is coming into your PC before any of the OBS filters or adjustments have a chance to mess with it. Second, there is a bug currently shared between Windows and OBS where OBS considers anything over -6 decibels to be clipping, where that's not necessarily true. Where if you were to record in Audacity, Adobe Premiere, Audition, it wouldn't show that you're clipping. And lastly, if you want to record your voice and listen back to it, it's way easier and quicker to do this Audacity than it is in OBS. And you don't have to save the files just to go back and listen to them. You should be aiming for anywhere around -12 to -6 decibels. Any higher than that, you're going to be blowing people. Start a recording, say some words, watch where your audio levels are landing, and listen back to the recording and adjust accordingly. Noise gates, compressors, noise suppressors, OBS filters, and RTX. In my opinion, the 2 most important things about microphone audio and streamers are noise gate and noise compression. Now, with that said, these are the 2 most overlooked settings in the history of live streaming. Streamers love 2 things: mechanical keyboards and screaming. Not having a noise gate set properly is a quick way to get yelled at in a VoIP channel. You'll get scolded even harder if your microphone is peaking because your gain is too high or you don't know about compressors. Now, there is hardware out there like the Behringer MDX 2600 or the DBX 286S that both have noise gates and compressors on board, which means that you don't have to use any VST filters in OBS to kind of dial anything in. I like doing it this way because I don't need to sync my audio settings across PCs in order to get the same sound on each. The same exact signal that is going to my gaming PC is the same signal that is going to my streaming PC. Now, on the other hand, a very popular device by the name of GoXLR has all of these settings on board built in. So you should really only need to make changes for OBS for little tweaks here and there, or if you just want to set like an audio limiter to when you get super, super loud. So let me break this down for you. If you are using a USB microphone, your only real option is to add a noise gate or a compressor filter in the OBS audio settings. Now, there is a way to add these types of features using an application like Voice Meter. I'm not really gonna get into that. If you happen to have an XLR microphone with a USB audio interface, you can either purchase hardware like the Behringer, the DBX, or the GoXLR and have the noise gate and the compressor in your audio chain before it makes it to the computer, or you can opt in to use the noise gate, noise suppression, or compressor VSTs within OBS. The advantage to having a piece of hardware that manages your noise gate and your compression before it gets to the PC is so that you don't have to adjust settings for every single app that you use, for Audacity, Adobe Audition, Discord, OBS. If all of your hardware is dialed in with all of your correct settings, you have to spend less time messing around with all of it in software. Now, if you want to learn how to use noise gates, compressors, noise suppressors, and more, again, head over to the Streamer Encyclopedia under the audio section. Look for filters and VST plugins. You will find, in my opinion, the best guides and explanations on these things, and they're not recorded by me. Lastly, if you have an NVIDIA RTX graphics card, you can utilize RTX Voice. It is a machine learning AI-based feature that removes background noise from your mic audio signal. It's super nifty, but to me is more of a band-aid on a much bigger issue. Plus, I think it kind of destroys your audio quality, but it's neither here nor there. Well, my friends, you made it through, and now that you have a fantastic base knowledge of what you need to do, you can have an acceptable sounding microphone here in 2020. As a quick overview, here is the list in order that you should be considering, okay? Room treatment, USB audio interfaces and their preamps, a boom arm, mic distance, mic positioning, fader levels on mixers, the preamp gain level, setting the proper recording level in Windows, disabling Windows' ability to adjust your microphone volume, checking your audio levels in Audacity, and the use of noise gates, suppression, compressors, and more. I know this seems like a lot, and if you're a content creator, you have to know your way around your audio setup. It is you and only you managing your setup, and your community is not gonna put up with crappy audio. So learn about it, know how to tweak it when things don't sound good. As always, if you have any questions about today's video, feel free to leave a comment down below. Feel free to shoot me a DM in Discord or on Twitter. Speaking of Discord, we have dedicated channels for tech support, help, streaming related Q&A. So if you are looking for a bunch of different opinions and not just mine, feel free to hop into the Discord and take a look under the tech and streaming category. We have channels where you can get tech support, you can ask other streamers questions, about the craft, about technology, and much, much more. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. Stream safe, stream smart, eat a penis.
Okay?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Are you okay?
Oh, God.
Oh my god!